What's going on, guys? It's Jared from Mopar Insiders, and today we're going to be installing some parts on our project Challenger Hellcat. You guys have been loving the videos. I really appreciate it. Now some of the modifications are starting to trickle in. So today we're going to start with the Per4mance Development Diff brace, and then we're going to install the Z Automotive Taser, the bypass module, and the auxiliary buttons that we can program Taser functions to have one touch of the button inside. Now the Taser is just going to be important for me because of this being a 2015 Hellcat. It does not have the line lock feature. So with the Taser we can add that, which is going to help us to do burnouts at the track without wearing out the rear brakes. So come along for the ride and let's get started. Okay, so here we are underneath the car. As you can see, the previous owner did install a diff brace here. This is a standard one, like that you'll most commonly see. So we're going to take this off and get to work getting the new one on. Okay, so this is actually a little bit disappointing. So after I put the camera away, took a look under the car, and came back to this, I realized that it didn't come with any of the hardware. So as far as I know, it's supposed to include new ARP bolts. Of course, need a new bolt to go through for the new bushing. So I'm gonna have to get in contact with Per4mance Development and see what's going on with that. But let's go and get the Taser installed with the double bypass. So I'm gonna pop the trunk open here. To install the double bypass, we gotta start in the trunk. And I just got to clear this out. It's got all the stuff that I traditionally take to the drag strip with me in the trunk here. So give me a second. Okay, so now that I've got the trunk emptied out, I went ahead and folded down the seats. The next thing you have to do is pull this Velcro up here and here, and then this whole liner will come right out. Okay, back to the trunk and pull this guy out and put it to the side out of the way. Okay, so now you see this loom here that goes underneath there. We need to get to that box to hook up a couple connectors. Okay, so I'm now in the back seat of the car. What we have to do is pull this Christmas tree clip out here and then lift this all up. There's that out. Now we can lift this out of the way, peel this back, and this is where all of our CAN bus connectors are going to be. So we just got to get this guy opened up here. I'm just going to get a screwdriver so I can pry the tabs open. Okay, so now with that open, you've got access to the CAN bus here. So you can see all these open connectors on this side, and then you've got one open connector on this side. So let's open up the bypass module. And this is what you get here. Now I will say that this is not necessary unless you have a 2018 or newer Charger, Challenger, or 300. The reason that I'm doing this is because it puts the OBD port in the trunk, and for the Taser it has to be plugged in for all of the live functions. Now of course, with this car being modified and tuned, I traditionally data log it when I'm at the track, so I need that OBD port under the dash to be free. So anyways, as you can see, it's basically another OBD port, and then you've got some wiring. You've got power and ground, and then you've got this loom here. These are what you plug in to the CAN bus, and as you can see, the factory connectors, you've got white on this side, green on this side, and on the Taser you've got white and green. So pretty self-explanatory what goes where. Let's get these plugged in and then we'll work on power and ground. So now we've got those plugged in, we'll run the cable out here like it does on the factory. And we'll go ahead and put that cover back on. There we go, super easy. Everything just clicks back into place. You can move this back there. Now we're done with this part of the installation. We'll go back into the other side of the trunk. Okay, so now what we need to do is open up the fuse box in the back here. And, oh cool, the tool's missing. We need to find fuse number 37, which is the radio fuse. And that is going to be this one right here. So on the second bank from the front of your mini fuses, it's going to be this 20 amp fuse second from the end. So we're going to pull that out. Okay, so I just used my little screwdriver there to get underneath and pop it out. And then what you're going to do is take this add a fuse that's included with the Taser, and you'll see a 5 amp fuse in there already that goes to the Taser, and you put your 20 amp radio fuse in the open slot. Okay, so with your 20 amp fuse added, you're now going to plug it back into where you took it out. And you'll want to route this wire and bring it out the side of the fuse box. So what you can do is plug it into the actual harness on the bypass module. Make sure everything's covered, there's nothing bare. And you can now throw the fuse box cover back on. Now all that's left is this little ground lug here, and what you're going to do is loosen off the ground right here and slip it in, tighten it back up. And I'm going to take a look. I don't like the way some of these grounds are looking, so I'm just going to take a quick look here and be right back. Okay, so I'm just going to loosen it off. It's just a 10 mil. Just want to make sure all the grounds look good, because there was a couple added by the previous owner for the dual fuel pump system. Oh yeah, everything looks okay. Then we'll slide this guy over and tighten up that 10 mil. You just want to make sure you've got a good connection, because bad grounds will give you nightmares. I've actually found a couple on this car already that have fixed a couple little issues that it's had. And there you go. So just like that, the double bypass module is installed. So we've got connected to the CAN bus in here. We've got our add a fuse in here, put into fuse 37, the radio fuse back in, and then we've got the ground here. So that is all the wiring for the double bypass. So now what we can do is plug the Taser in. So let's open that guy up. It does come with a USB cable as well. What I would always recommend is when you get one of these, plug it into your computer and download the Z Automotive utility. Make sure this is updated to the newest version. Now all we have to do is plug it in. So there we go, that's all plugged in. Let's hop in the car and make sure that it's working. One thing I would recommend is finding a way to secure this back here so it's not just flopping around. Figure that out after we verify that it works.
And one of the other things I wanted to update you guys on in this video as well is our long-term vehicles and project vehicles. So I thought I said in the last video, but I might not have, because I was asked about our project Dakota RT. Now that is gone. After I picked up this car, I figured there was no point in building that truck out, and I picked this car up just because it was such a great base with all the modifications that are already done to it. As far as our long-term 2022 Ram 1500, well, guys, welcome to my garage at my new home. So I just recently moved. I'm about an hour and a half drive each way from work now. And that coupled with the fuel prices, I was paying about $200 in fuel every 2 days in that Ram 1500. And one of the other reasons that I got rid of it is, well, you connect 5 on the 12-inch screen. And depending on what day it is,
sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit.
sometimes it would work flawlessly. Other times the screen would be completely black, wouldn't connect to the phone, completely freeze out, etc., etc. I've had good experiences with Uconnect 5 in recent press vehicles like the Grand Cherokee Summit and the Compass Trailhawk. Didn't have any issues there. Had a couple minor issues with the first couple press vehicles I've had this year with the system, but nothing quite as bad as the way that it works on the 12-inch screen in the Ram. Hopefully they get that sorted out soon, but it was definitely a little bit frustrating. So that truck had to get replaced with something a little more fuel efficient as a commuter.
Okay, so now that we're in the car, what we can do is hit it to accessory. Let the screen boot up. I'll take this light off so you guys can see what's on the screen there. There we go. And then I'll close the door so you don't have to listen to it digging away. Now go down to your audio menu. And then what you're going to do is press and hold the left arrow here. And then you can tap the cancel button and that will get you into the Taser menus. Okay, so this is going to be a little tricky without having a free hand. But essentially, you're going to press this, press the cancel button. There you go. So now, as you can see, it came up with light show. So it is seeing the Taser. You can cycle through. So I'm going to press cancel again. Key not on. Press cancel again. Light show. Okay, so we're going to put it into the run position now. Again, I'm going to hold that left arrow. I'm going to tap the cruise control cancel button. Read DTCs. Don't need to do that. Clear DTCs. Don't need to do that. Marry. So now, this is how you marry it with the vehicle. What you're going to do is continue to hold that left button and you're going to tap the actual cruise control on off button here. So I'm going to tap that. Now you can see it's marrying itself to the vehicle and doing a countdown. Now the nice thing about that is it's going to save all of the settings that the vehicle is currently in, because you can reconfigure a bunch of stuff as well. And there you go. So now it is married to the vehicle. So now I'm going to hold that left button again, tap cancel, and start scrolling through the menus. So you've got performance, you've got tire. I want to go into the tire menu, so I'm going to hit this button again here. That's how you get into a menu. Tire, so TPMS Premium. I'm going to hit the on button again, cruise control on button. TPMS None, so that's what I want, because when I'm at the track with my drag radials on, I've got a drag pack set up, so I've got skinnies for the front and another set of wheels for the back. They don't have sensors in them, and it drives me nuts because all the car does is dings and shows you there's no tire pressure. I know how to use a tire gauge. I don't need the tire pressure sensor, so none. So we've got that set. So now we're going to hold that left arrow again and hit cancel and scroll through. So that's where you can set the minimum thresholds before the sensors go off. That's your tire diameter. You can go to radio. You can change radio options as well. Lighting, you can change lighting options. So you can go in there. DRL type Canada. Or change it to DRL type US. Which would be none. So we're going to set it to, oh, there we go, USA. Now we can hit cancel, go to the next menu, DRL location, turn signals, Derail dropout. Fogs enabled. This car, being a Hellcat, does not have fog lights, so we can leave that as no. Fog light dropout, we can leave that as no because we don't have fog lights. Comfort, we can see what's in those menus. So splash screen, Hellcat. So that's what comes up in the center display here when you turn the vehicle on. You can change that between Hellcat or Shaker, Scat Pack, Demon, 1320, Red Eye, or none. So we're going to leave it on Hellcat because this is a Hellcat. Remote windows, so you can choose that from yes or no, which will allow you to open the windows from your key fob. Not sure if it works on these, but I believe it does. We'll go to yes. Belt dings, so that's a seat belt reminder. It dings if you're not wearing your seatbelt. So right now it's turned on. I always wear my seatbelt, not worried about that. Easy exit seat, no, don't need that because this does not have memory seating. We'll go to the next one. So that's just a serial number for your Taser, unmarried number, and that'll give you a full reboot, which you want to do after you change all the settings. But let's go back into the performance menu and see what's in there because we skipped over that. So sport mode for 5-speed, no. This is an 8-speed car, so you don't want that. Sport for 8-speed, yes. We do want that. SRT set, yes. So that'll give you like the SRT fonts and menus. Performance set, yes. So this is cool if you've got an RT and don't have performance pages, or a Scat Pack that doesn't have performance pages, and you use a Taser, you set performance set to yes and SRT on, it will give you the performance pages, which is pretty cool. So we'll bring that up on this screen here. Most of you guys I'm sure know what it is, but you'll be able to see there's a bunch of cool stuff that you can do with performance pages. So you've got your home screen, you've also got your timers, so you can look at your current, last, or best. So even for this car, as you guys can see, so best 0 to 100 kilometers an hour, which is 62 miles an hour, 2.1 seconds. Best 0 to 160, 4.2. 200 ET, 400 meter ET, so that is a quarter mile. Best that this car has done is a 9.8 at 252 kilometers an hour, which we weren't able to achieve last time we were out. And then you've got your gauges, G-force meter, and engine to watch horsepower, torque, and boost. So, like I said, that can be added to an RT or Scat Pack car with the Taser if you don't have it. So we'll hit cancel and go to the next one. Super Track Pack enabled. This one is no. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's supposed to be no. I don't know. Paddles enabled, yes. This does have the paddle shifters because it is an automatic. Alright, so the camera cut off there because it got a little too hot. It is hot today. But anyways, that's pretty much all the menus. So then you're going to see here full reboot, and you're going to hold the left arrow here, and you're going to press the cruise button here and allow it to do its complete reboot of the vehicle, because this does change settings inside of the body control module. So we'll let it do its thing, and then I'll show you a couple other cool features with the Taser. You will see some stuff flash on the screen. Don't worry about that. It's just like error codes coming up as it's reprogramming the body computers. But anyways, I'll get back to you guys once this is done. Alright, so the remote windows do work for down, but they won't go back up from the key fob. So to do that, all you do is press unlock once, and then press and hold, and you'll see the windows will come down by themselves. It's another cool little feature. Alright, and for the last part of our install here,
we're going to install the auxiliary buttons. Now, if you have the adaptive cruise control, so you've got the buttons here, you don't need to add them. You can actually program Taser functions to those buttons. But if you don't have adaptive cruise, so you've just got the blanks here that you can't push on, then you do need to add the buttons in. Super easy to install. All you're gonna do is take the factory button, reach underneath, and it's just going to pop out all as one piece like that. And then what's underneath actually is buttons that you can press. So you get the new ones from Z Automotive, and you just pop them in one by one. You're going to want to make sure that you're putting the right ones in the right places. Well, we know that this one is the middle one, no matter what. So let's get that in first. Okay, so now that we have everything done, what I want to do is remap the line lock and the fan cool down to these buttons that we've added here, because those are what I'm going to use at the track most often. So now back at our audio screen, we're going to hold the left button and we're going to press. So two of the big things for me why I bought the Taser, really the two main reasons as we drag race this car all the time, is for cool down mode and for the line lock. So to do cool down mode, what you're going to do is in your audio menu, press and hold the right arrow, and then you hit cancel, and you can start scrolling through. So you see engine fan on, intercooler pump on, fan and intercooler pump low, fan and intercooler pump high. You hear that spool up now, and cool down off. So that's going to be great for cooling the car down between runs. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. We've got a bunch more stuff coming. So the car is getting a complete retune by OST Dyno. We've got the 4 fuel rails coming for it, the Whipple big oval throttle body, and a couple other little things. So we're really going to work hard to get this thing running as it should, because if you guys saw our previous drag race video, the car is not performing at the level that it should right now. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like, leave a comment down below, and we'll see you in the next video. Take care.